Testing, testing. Hello, this is TeacherBot. Hopefully I'm functioning correctly. Hi everybody. I wanted to show you what we're trying to do in our online CSC classes. One thing, I fixed it to actually say C++, so thank you for catching that, folks. Sorry about that. So this is just that we create an account so we have some place to put our work. And it's not as complicated as I made it. Sorry about that. So I did want to show you, if I get all this stuff out of the way, to just show you what Flash looks like. Now, I'm sorry, I didn't realize, because I don't have a student email account, you can't use this on student email, but if you have another Google account, I've got like, several, then you can switch to one and you can just go here and say something like, I might regret this. All right, so let's see if it works. Great, so making a GitHub account is super easy, fam. Great. It's pretty cringy, but I thought it was funny. It's going to walk you through this stuff. It's actually not super helpful. Sometimes if you get a little too obsessed with how you get the information, it'll not be super helpful. We'll talk about that. But the point I wanted to make was if you want to use Flash for like asking questions about why does C++ have that main thing in it, just curious. Looks like he lost his Zoomer stuff. But sometimes what will happen when you talk to AI is it dumps a lot of information and now you're more confused than when you start. So you can always back it up and say, explain it like I like to use 10 instead of 5, because when you say 5, it talks about teddy bears a lot. That's not the worst thing in the world. That was a pretty okay description, but I'm going to close that for now. I just wanted to show you it was a tool that was available if anybody wanted to play with it. It's not really essential here. Let's talk about how we can do the actual assignment now that I got that out of the way. Now you might find Flash useful, you might not. So you want to make a new repository. Okay, so this is very important. This part I want you to pay close attention. It takes maybe a minute or two if you get it right. Let's turn on this add a README. Always add a README because you don't want to start an empty repository. It's just like a shelf you can put your stuff on, right? But you want there to be something on the shelf so you can actually work with it later. So just click that on and you're all set. Just look for the color, right? So I'm going to say CSC 134. It's going to be taken for me, so I'm going to say course. You should just call yours CSC 134, okay? You do that. I'm going to call mine something different because I have a lot of classes. I'm going to say CSC 134, okay? You can just use 134 if you want. C 134, C++ programming, or whatever you want to say, right? I'm going to make it a public repository because you're going to share your work here. We're trying to build a portfolio so employers can see you provably learn C++, because you've been writing code and getting better as you went. We can leave it all like this and hit create repository. But I'm going to check again to make sure the README is on, and it is. And now I have my repo, okay? Well, now there's something a little different. You want to go make another repository if you have time. That would be called something like this. Well, whatever your name is, exactly the same thing. And what you can see is, if you see the sparkles, people don't believe me when I say look for the sparkles, but so I already have one, but you're going to see this. And guess what? You need to also turn on README and create it, okay? I can't create it because it already exists, so I'm just going to go to mine and show you what it looks like. Okay. So it's this. It has a little blurb here, isn't that nice? So lots of stuff here that's not important to you guys, but I'm teaching C++, so I mention that a lot. Some of this other stuff we'll talk about later maybe. But I'm going to look at it. If I look at my repo, so it's github.com/myname/myname. And whatever you put here shows up on your page. So I'll show you an example. So let me go back to Gemini just for fun. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to say as if plus was like F1 car racing, please rewrite this document. And I'm going to put quotes around it, but you can kind of skip that. But let's see what happens. Great. So I could take this and paste it in. I'll actually show you how to do it. I'm not going to go with the theming because my foo is not F1, but like I kind of say in here, you know, foo doesn't mean anything. So the foo is your thing. What's your thing? I'm going to copy that, and I can go right here and delete it all. Okay, so there's my thing. And then I'm going to, you're going to hit commit changes. And when you hit commit changes, you need to say, well, my robot wrote something for me. So you should write something. Made the README more personal, right? And I could say it's like F1 cars, right? And you're going to hit commit changes, okay? So you'll hit that button. I'm not going to hit that button because I don't want to change my README to be a pit crew, but I certainly could. I'm just going to back out of that. All right, what do you do when you're done? You just go to like your home page, you copy that, and you should be able to submit that down below. I'm not in student mode, so just pretend you have a submit there. I sure hope that helped. I'm sorry for the confusion. So if you have your course entry quiz done and you've made your GitHub, you're going to be ready this coming week to write some C++ code finally. The reason we've taken you through this process is because if you were actually hired somewhere to write C++ code, the first thing they'd have you do is set up your tools. So setting up GitHub is part of that. All right, thank you so much. Goodbye.